Hello, and welcome to another edition of Con Life. This is the show where I collect all the Instagram stories from my most recent convention, this one being NWI Comic Con. So this was a one-day show at Crown Point, Indiana. It wasn't too far from me, so I was able to drive there and back, which I absolutely loved. So the idea of doing shows and attending conventions has sort of been up in the air since like all of last year and the year before. So in order for me to get more comfortable with the idea of doing this again, especially because I'm a new parent, I wanted to start very local or local enough and sort of really space out the time in between shows and also the amount. Because when, pre-COVID, I was doing like 12 to 20 shows a year. It was nuts. I was traveling everywhere. And then that kind of all went away. And the idea of, driving long distances or even flying is just, I don't know where I'm at there yet in my mindset. So having a nice kind of independent show like this to get my feet wet, hopefully start a nice progressive and set like a really positive whatever. I don't know what I want to say. So hopefully doing a show like this can get me warmed up to the idea of doing conventions again, I guess is what I was trying to say. That was a long way of kind of getting around to that. Anyways, it was a very good show. There was a lot of people, which, didn't give me anxiety because everyone was so friendly. Everyone was very nice. Everyone was wearing a mask. The engagement was great. I brought in a companion book to the Big Book of Board, which I debuted at C2E2, and I created another book that was the Tiny Book of Big Board, which contained all my 5x7 cardboard sketches. I thought it'd be kind of cool to put them side by side, and so those were out in front. And because of that, a lot of people came to the table and just to talk about it. And it was really cool. It was really nice to see people kind of react to these drawings, people who would stop and kind of flip through, and you'll see that in the little boomerangs that I shoot every time someone looks through it. There's a lady who asked me which my favorite one was because they were going to buy that one based on what I liked. Not, based on any of their fandoms, but they're like, which one was the one you're most proud of? That's the one I'll buy. Like, that's so sweet, They don't have to do that, but again, people were very nice. I think people were excited that there was like a nice small indie Comic-Con in that area. And because of that, I actually did really well. My only gripe was because it's such a smaller show, a lot of the stuff kind of all took place within the same area. So for example, they had like trivia and like a cosplay contest, and they had an announcer who was announcing stuff, and it was very loud. The show was very loud. So imagine trying to talk to somebody and then over, the PA system, you hear like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, in the movie Encanto, who is the person they do not want to talk about? Who is the person they do not want to talk about in the movie Encanto? So just stuff like that kind of throughout the day, which would sort of interrupt any kind of conversations you're having. But other than that, people were well engaged. It was kind of hard to hear. And it was a nice sort of foot to lead off of in terms of my shows for the year. I'm not actually doing a bunch. I'm really trying to scale it back and really space them out. If you want to know where I'm going to be at, you can check out my website. I have about 3 or 4 shows listed, and I'm probably willing to add 1 or 2 more. So I'm recording. And so enjoy the con life for NWI Comic Con, and we will see you on the next.
They're scary. Are you kidding me? What do you mean, why? Yeah, a little bit.
If I go to cons, I need validation, you know?
Excuse me, sir. What are you doing here? Well, there he is.
I am here.
Yeah.
I am live.
Did you have a good show?
I did.
That's
I took
good.
my mask off at the end. Only at the end. I wore it all day.
Say bye, Art.
Right on. Bye, Art.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Con Life. I have to burp. Is that formula? This one being NWI Comic Con. NWI. Okay. The show where I talk about stuff. Hello and what do I want to talk about? Let's figure it out.